For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, we are live and amplified. So let's get ready to podcast.
Fire it up.
Hey, and Brett's with you as well, right?
Yeah, Brett's with me as well. Hey, Tom, how are you?
Doing pretty good. I saw the dual come-ins, and I was like, I think they're both together, but let me double check. So
yep, there he is.
Awesome.
Yeah, we were prepping in the green room.
Yeah.
Let me turn my volume up a little.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Awesome. How's everything going?
Good. And you?
Oh, going pretty good. You know, we've only had one confirmed cancellation. Or no show, I guess is the better way to put it. They didn't cancel it. No show is the best way to put it.
Those no shows.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, right?
Yeah. But other than that, like everybody else that didn't show up, I kind of assumed they wouldn't because they never confirmed. So,
well, there you go.
You know, it's just one of those things where I knew certain people wouldn't show up, but there's only one band that just didn't show up that had confirmed. So it is what it is.
What are you going to do?
Yep. So
out of our control.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
100% agree.
Yeah.
Hey, Tom, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Brett.
Thank you.
We were just going to get started. I let you guys in a little bit early because I was taking a break because I'll take my 30-minute break when I can get them, you know?
Yeah, right.
So, but we're ramping down for the night pretty much. We've got a few more interviews and I'm excited to sit down and chat with you. So for everybody that's listening, we have Kinder Crowd Control, right? Yeah, Kinder Crowd Control. That's a mouthful for me at this point in the game.
I bet.
So what's kind of the story behind the band? How'd you guys come together? You know, all that fun stuff.
Okay. Brett and I have been playing together for quite a while. And Kinder Crowd Control is our latest musical thing, latest as of 2010. Mm-hmm. And what can I say? We're just music collaborators ad infinitum. Brett?
Yeah. We've been doing this for a little while, and it's music is meant to be shared, and we certainly get our fair share of when we put it together and create it for other people. It's a collaboration that works very well, and I think that our fans are certainly enjoying the fruits of what we come up with.
Yeah, our followers have increased dramatically, which is great. Since we've been with B Squared. Yeah.
Nice. And where are you guys based out of?
Los Angeles.
Yeah. Got a lot of LA folk in the building tonight. So that's
all right. Awesome. Yeah.
You know, this kind of become a thing that I've asked every LA person. How's LA? Obviously LA's gone through a lot of transformation over the last year. We'll say probably about a year. How, from your perspective, how's LA looking to rebound?
Well, I'm an artist as well as a musician, and we still have less than the usual gallery openings, like physical brick and mortar. Mm-hmm. And I'm on the board of the International Artists Association USA. We had a meeting last night just discussing this topic, hoping to see. There's a lot of pop-ups. Pop-ups, for those out there who don't know, are galleries that open for a night. They're like a storefront. Well, there's a lot of that, but the brick and mortars are slow to rebound.
Gotcha. And that's just pretty consistent across the board as far as just LA in general.
Restaurants seem to be opening. I'm in a more free area of LA. I'm near Pasadena, and there's outdoor dining, and a few places are indoor dining. There seems to be a lot of people on the street, so that's positive.
Yeah, but it's certainly it's impacted the performance industry here.
Absolutely.
In LA, and you don't get as many musicians out. performing, just because the restaurants are not opening, or they're just takeout service, and so you don't get the volume of activity that we're used to here. We still get a pretty decent amount of it, but not it's not normal. But what's really been amazing over the past, I want to say, 20 months or so since COVID started is the explosion of online collaboration and camaraderie, and it's been really awesome, right?
Yeah, Brett and I work remotely and then get together to physically record. So our process wasn't really impacted last year. In fact, it forced us during the lockdowns to spend more time with the music, which worked out great. So, seeing things in the best light possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's all you can really do at this stage of the game,
I mean, right? Our hands are tied. Yeah.
For the most part. So for everybody that's kind of tuning in and listening, you're the first duo that I've had on today, so I kind of skipped over this part. Let's have you guys introduce yourselves individually, just so everybody kind of has a name with the face and what your role in Kinder Crowd Control is.
I am Adam Elish. That's EDEMELESH, and I manage Brett.
And I'm Brett Smith.
And you manage me.
Yes, we're Kinder Crowd Control.
Yep, I'm the guitar. Well, we play a variety of instruments. Yeah, we play a variety of instruments. We play what's needed, hopefully. Sometimes what's not needed. Right, Brett?
Yeah.
Awesome. And then as far as you said that Kinder Crowd Control has been together since 2010.
Well, as a band name and entity. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you guys something else previously, or how does that kind of play
Brett,
out?
give them a brief history. You don't forget LOS.
Yeah, we met many years before. I won't belabor the number of years for the fear of all those that are really good at math and can figure out exactly how old we are, right?
Yeah, say it quickly.
But we had a band together in the late 80s. I'll say that, in the late 80s, and we were in and performing around the LA area.
You're skipping one.
And then skipping one.
Yeah, Landscape of Sound.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Practically the house band at the Golden Bear in Huntington Beach, which was a historic landmark.
Yeah.
Go on, Brett. Continue.
Anybody has played at the Golden Bear there, and it was a shame to see it go, but that's what the city does. They come in and they rezone things and repurpose things. But so that was an awesome place to play. It was right there in the heart of Huntington.
Yeah.
So
we became then who, Brett?
So it was Landscape of Sound, and then it was Drowning Pool Music. We're a LA-based group, and played together as a group with a couple other guys for, I want to say, about 6 years?
8 years.
Okay,
6 years as Drowning Pool Music. Yeah.
See, that's what happens as you kind of count back through the years. Your mind gets a little fuzzy.
Yeah. And then we were in a band called Mumbles.
And then Mumbles, and then took a little break for a little while, and then we would get together, on occasion and put some pieces together for friends and so forth, and help them with some work, and we were focused on keeping alive these things that we had done, and then kind of rolled into the in the 2005 to 2008 kind of era. We were getting together more and more, and then by 2008 and 9 we were thinking, okay, well, we're getting together more and more often, we ought to start writing something. And so we actually started out with the old school idea of putting an album together. So and I'll tell you how that's kind of morphed our philosophy since then. But when you put an album together, it's not just one piece of music; it's multiple pieces of music. So it took us a couple years, I think, to record our first album, Salah. Took us a couple years to put that together, and then we were working on the second album. That took another couple years to put that one together, and then we got to the point where it was like we were having much more fun putting out singles because we would get. We would be so proud of what we did. We wouldn't want to just stick it on a shelf.
Yeah,
wait 2 years for us to come, to come up with 8 other pieces or 10 other pieces.
We, if I can jump in, we agreed that the paradigm had shifted from the album format or the CD format to singles. People download single songs, so we just started putting out songs, focusing on that one piece. And then putting that out with artwork and everything, and it way more fulfilling. And we actually felt we could move faster and keep our name alive.
And it made more sense. Even you look back historically, there'd be plenty of groups out there that would put together some good music, but it would be only one piece off an album that people wanted to hear. And so, so we kind of thought, okay, well, we're seeing more of this shift of putting pieces out more quickly, and it's more fluid. I think technology has really lent that to us, and it makes it easier for us to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So kind of speaking about music and all that stuff, you guys, let's talk about your most recent single here for a little bit. Yes.
Yes.
What was kind of the idea and thought process behind that single?
Can I take this one, Brett?
Yeah, do it.
Whilst being musicians, as I mentioned earlier, I'm also a fine artist, and I've been invited innumerable times overseas to these international art shows and workshops. Amazing experience. And in 2018, I was in Bangkok at this art workshop festival, and I happened to run into this amazing Croatian sculptor, and we became fast friends. And as the time went by, during these 10 days, it came out that I was a musician. So I was turning her on to our music, and she said, I used to front a punk band in Croatia. We should do something. So I said, okay, well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We're going to write a piece of music, and we're going to send it to you and get your input. But instead of that happening, I had the idea, okay, we have this piece of music. I'm going to tell her what the concept is and have her send her verbal thoughts about it. And we had joked about how the press corps over there was always saying, again, one more time, for like 20 minutes, taking photos of all the artists, right? So she was laughing, saying, again, one more time. She sent that to me, and we had just lost a great friend and supporter of our music. His name is Eugene Sotella, and he ran a site called, it'll come back to me. History, whatever. So Eugene Sotella, his name is crucial because he kept Drowning Pool music alive while I was at art school and we were in our hiatus.
Yeah.
And so I was inspired to write this piece with Brett commemorating life. Like we're still here. People, we could go at any time. Let's celebrate life. So she happened to send again, one more time, and it fit perfectly with our concept and our music. And so you have this celebration, but it's mournful, but it's nostalgic. It's nostalgic for life. And the again, one more time was perfect. The track is called Here, and it's about still being here. So this person, I'm getting to the answer, but you needed to know that Sandra is our wordsmith. So she, after doing many pieces with her, she contacted Brett and I and said, I want you guys to write a 7-part opus for a fine art performance I have scheduled for 2022. So we said, okay, well, what is it sort of looking like? And she goes, I don't have a real title, but I need these sections, like house section, house music, punk rock. And then this other section was called lounge. So I sent it to Brett, and Brett.
Well, we had no idea what she was talking about. We said, "What the hell's lounge?" So we said, Sandra, send us an example of what lounge means to you.
Right.
And she sent us this example. Adam had played it for me, and it's funny. He said, I don't really know what to do with this.
Right. No idea. Because I'm a punk rocker, right? So
I said, I got this. I got this. This is in my wheelhouse. So I got this. And so, that's what a partnership does. You work off of each other. One builds a foundation, and then the other builds on top of that.
So I'm going to add to that. So Brett brings me these tracks, these ideas for drums, sequencer, and he plays the Chapman stick. And for those who don't know what that is, it's a really cool instrument. Look it up online. Brett can tell you more about that. But he brought these tracks to me, and we were sitting down, and I downloaded the tracks into the software and was listening to it, and the drums and the sequencer, and he just at that moment came up with a stick line. And it was magnificent. So I'm like, what? So immediately I had the idea for the voice box to go over the top of it, saying it's a wonderful life. It's a wonderful world. And we sent what we'd done to Sandra, and she said, all I can say is it's amazing. And the only thing I want to say in it is yes.
Nice.
So she sent back yes. We said, you should send one more thing. So she sent, it's a beautiful life. And it happened so fast. It's an amazing, we loved it. We loved it from the moment. It's what I call a 6-pack song, where you got 2 guys in a room with you jamming and you're drinking 6-pack of beer or whatever. And you just come up with a riff.
It's certainly something that to make you feel good.
Yeah.
It's about the positive message of yes. We have choices, right? We can say no, or we can yes.
It reminds me of Yoko Ono had a exhibit in New York in the 70s where she met John Lennon, and she had a white ladder, which you walked up, and at the top, written on the top step, was the word yes. Nice. And John Lennon said, that's amazing. So this is similar.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And, just to kind of segue into the whole reason why we're here, like you mentioned, like the celebration of life and all that stuff, which is kind of why we're here, like celebrating every day as is, because tomorrow is not guaranteed.
We don't know.
Yeah. Especially with like stuff like pancreatic cancer, because it hit my mother. Like when my mom got diagnosed, it was 90 days later. And she was gone, so
sorry, man.
Just one of those things. But I did want to take this opportunity to kind of ask, have you guys had any experiences with loved ones or close friends with pancreatic cancer or just cancer in general?
Not with pancreatic cancer, but I am a cancer survivor myself. So when I lost my father to cancer, he passed away at the age of 64, which was too young. I feel way too young.
Way too young.
And so I've got that, if it's genetic, it's in my gene pool there somewhere. So, I got to watch out for myself, and then also be on the watch out for my family, my kids. It's something that is it's kind of a silent killer, in a way. It's not something that you really know until it's on you. And then when it's on you, it's for most people, it's too late. It's
new battle.
It's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. So say yes to life, right? Say yes to beautiful blue skies and
Mhm.
and clear oceans and all that stuff. The life is so short. Say
Mhm.
yes.
Yep.
Yep.
And what's funny? I was at a friend of mine's son's bar mitzvah, and this man was a great friend of mine. His name is Mitch Green. And it was at his son's bar mitzvah where the band name came from.
Mhm.
And he passed away a year later from brain cancer.
Oh, wow.
So it's funny, it's all connected. Why would we think it isn't that you're here, you invited us,
Mhm.
and we're talking about all of this and the
Mhm.
positive message? We're meant to be here,
Yep.
meant to be here.
Yep, absolutely. And Brett, to kind of highlight what you were talking about earlier, my dad's also a survivor of cancer. He had prostate cancer a couple years back. And so now, like, I'm doubly on edge because I'm the only male in my family. So automatically the prostate cancer is genetically inherited to me. And then when we look at like your medical history, I tend to lean more to my mother's side of the family. And so now they're doubly concerned with the pancreatic cancer as well, even though it is not, or they claim it wasn't a genetic thing, but it's still something that they're extremely concerned about. So,
yeah. So, for all the listeners, for us here and all the listeners and so forth that are listening to your podcast, it's process. Go get checked.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Absolutely.
not that big of a deal.
No.
Go get checked. Colon cancer, prostate cancer, breast cancer, go get these things checked before it's too late.
Yeah, absolutely.
Words of wisdom.
Because if you wait too long, there's no running it back. You don't get a second chance. You don't get a redo,
That's right.
So
there's no reset button?
Nah.
Yeah, right. Oh, come on now.
I don't think so. But no.
Man, I'm really in the wrong generation. I need to be in the younger generation. So I just hit that reset button.
Right. Reboot.
Reset.
If there was a reset button, I would have reset to a year ago and told my mom, hey, go to the doctor,
Really.
So, it's just one of those things where, it's, you think about it. And I mentioned this in one of the earlier podcasts about over Labor Day weekend. I was thinking about it. Like I caught myself in a really down mood where I was just thinking about how a year ago we were all in Kentucky. I had a cabin on the lake, just having a good old time over Labor Day weekend. And if you would have told me a year later my mom's not going to be there, I would have called you a liar. And
right.
Lo and behold, a year later, there we sit. So
yeah, time. Got to grab the good times with the people you love. Absolutely. Let them know you love them.
Yep.
What is it that Kanye West said? Send flowers to the people while they can still smell them.
Yep. Yep. I'm a firm believer in that one as well.
What is your lesson you've taken from this, Tom? Have you seen things change because of this, besides obviously this event? What have you taken away from it?
I mean, for me, to be 100% honest with you, I haven't fully digested everything yet.
Okay.
Because I tried to, as soon as everything happened as it did in July, I kind of buried myself in my work and kept myself super busy. And so I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen when, because after this weekend, I'm off the podcast train. I've got 6 weeks of nothing to do but work my 9 to 5, and that's it. So hopefully during that 6 weeks, I'll kind of take something or figure out what I need to take away, but just like at face value as to what I've been able to digest so far, it, like, not to overstate the obvious, but tomorrow's not guaranteed. Like
there you go.
Like that's the big takeaway right now.
That's a good one.
Yep.
I would give you some advice having, it's been 19 years since I lost my dad. And the first couple of years is tough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really tough. There's a hole in your life that you really can't fill back. It's and there's nothing you can do. There's no reset button. There's absolutely nothing you can do. But we have a choice of spiraling down, in that rabbit hole, right? And just losing ourselves in depression and missing that hole, right? But I really feel strongly that talking about things, even about the way you feel and about what happened and about maybe the person that you lost, exactly what you're doing right now, Tom, is emotional therapy for you and for anybody out there. It's necessary. You've got to talk about these things with other folks. And just keep that conversation going, and with that, it kind of starts backfilling that hole. It does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, words are manifest, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been one of those things. Like early on, the hardest thing was when I would get off of work or whatever. Usually, my mom was the person that I'd call because my dad was also working. Or my dad would be at work. And so it's like, I'm not going to try and call him because you just never know when he's going to be able to answer. So my mom was always the go-to. And the first, I'd say couple of weeks, it was like really hard to break the habit of trying to call my mom. But even if I did, it would just go straight to voicemail or go to, like wherever it went to. But that was the hardest habit to break. And even now, like when I'm out on long road trips, like when I take my long road trips, that's still the hardest part because she was the reason that I passed the time. I'd be driving I'm in Waco, Texas, and I drive out to Roswell, New Mexico about once a month. And so once I got out on the main expressway there, which was like a 2-hour drive from where I'm at, I used to always call my mom and be like, hey, on the expressway, just letting you know, all that stuff. And now it's just kind of like, oh, I got to remember to do that for my dad. Like just switch the phone number essentially. So.
But gotcha. You know what, you're gonna find things out about your father that you probably never knew just in those longer conversations with him. And you say, oh, really? You did that? Oh, really? You thought that way? Yeah. And all of a sudden the hole will start filling back up again.
Yeah, for sure. Right. And it's interesting because we've had a couple of those situations where I've learned a lot more about my dad, but then also he's one of those guys that shares a lot to begin with anyways. So.
Okay, right.
Sometimes you can't get him to shut up.
Yeah. Damn, I don't need to know that.
Yeah, for sure. But so that's kind of where we're at. And thankfully, I've been able to come to the realization that I can't control everything. As much as I want to sit here and say I have control over everything, right? Everything in my life, I don't have control over hardly anything, which
maybe
is
this much.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're right.
So
right.
And so that's why we write music.
The funny thing is,
write music to live on. Right. So if something were to happen, a piece of us lives on, and it's
also documenting the moment. Yeah. That one take, that one drum fill, that one guitar riff, that one bass riff. It's immortalizing moments, right? This is music.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So 100% agreed. So one thing that I want to do here as we kind of start wrapping this up, obviously leaving everyone the message to get yourself checked, obviously there's a lot of cancer screening processes, pancreatic, there's a screening, but there's really no way to know as far as symptoms to look out for,
right?
Until it's too late, which is unfortunate. But one of the things that I want to do is everybody that comes on the fundraising podcast today gets one random question from our random question generator.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Sometimes they're fun, sometimes they're serious.
Tom. Let's do it. This sounds like fun.
All right. So
I'm going to make Adam answer it first.
Okay.
So, because that's what we enjoy, Tom, is
I just took a step back.
on our interviews. Yeah, you did. You took a seat back. We counterpoint. I cannot predict what Brett will say. I love that. Again, can't control him. Can't control that boy.
Like herding cats.
Yeah. I've said that pretty much every interview we've had. So,
yeah.
Okay. But here's your question. What's the best part about a road trip?
The best part about a road trip. Well, I've been on a lot of trips. We'll just call them road trips. Yeah. The unknown. You're out of your comfort zone. The unknown. Every time I'd be taking that flyaway bus to LAX, I didn't know what was going to happen. And I love that. Breaking the routine, the unknown. There's my answer. Brett, you want to give him a different question? No, you can't do that.
That's a great answer. That's one I would have picked as a number one answer. But let me add on to that. It's the journey. Okay, so when you take a road trip, you usually have some kind of destination in mind. Maybe you don't have a destination in mind. So if those that don't have a destination in mind, then they're clearly after a road trip for the experience of the journey itself. And the ones who are on a road trip for a destination, what they remember about the road trip was not the destination. They remember the journey.
Right.
And it's all about the journey. And the same thing happens in life. We go through a journey from start to finish. And what we take with us is the journey and what we've experienced. So it's all about the journey.
Awesome.
That's a pretty round answer. You see, that's what we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely appreciate the perfect. I don't want to call it the perfect answer, but that's what I'm going to go ahead and call it, because to me, I don't think there is a perfect answer for just about anything. But once again, I do want to thank you all so much for jumping on. It's been a blast sitting here chatting with you, shooting the shit and whatnot. So if anybody wants to check out your new single or any of the upcoming music, where's the best place for them to do that?
Kinder Crowd Control. That's one word, kids. KINDERCROWDCONTROL. It's actually easy once you know it. Kinder Crowd Control, one word, .bandcamp.com. That's where all our music lives.
And you can actually find us everywhere. You can find us on Amazon, on Spotify, on iTunes, everywhere.
Amazon.
So just remember to if you
one word.
Just to type it, it's all one word, and then you'll find it. And there's a ton of material in there. Start wherever you like, and then just kind of explore around. There's plenty of music in there, something for everybody.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for sitting in and chatting. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. If you're interested in donating for the Pancreatic Cancer Action Network to support pancreatic cancer research and awareness, the links are in the description below or in the comment section. It is tagged in the comment section there. So if you're
I'm going in and donating right now when we're done, Tom.
Awesome. I love to hear it. But once again, thank you all so much. And we will be right back with another music.